Hello, world. Welcome to the Shannon Joy Show. Hello, world. Welcome to the Shannon Joy Show. We're broadcasting live from the Joy Virtual Studio. So good to be with all of you today. Thank you, Jesus. It is Friday. It is Freestyle Friday. And as you can tell, I haven't even really started the show and I've already messed it up. I see you, Buskman. Shannon, stop hitting the red button. Yeah, I hit the red button. As you guys know, Freestyle Friday, no prep, no producers. You're going to get whatever you get. We don't know what's going to happen. It's like a box of chocolates. And yeah, you're going to get the shumbles as I mess up my own production. But yeah, I'm here broadcasting live from the Rumble studios. And we don't really have a lot on the docket today. It's just you and me. I like to do this unscripted with no real show prep, just to hang out with all of you on the live chat, talk about the news of the day, talk about the shows that we hosted this past week, talk about what we're going to do next week, some housekeeping for the Shannon Joy Show. We have a lot going on and some new expansion in the month of October, which is really exciting that I want to tell you guys all about. And yeah, sometimes, in the production of the show, and you guys, those of you who have been with me since I started my show in a double wide trailer in a cornfield in a tiny little farm town in upstate New York, and then platformed to video about 5 years ago from my home with a makeshift studio, self-producing. As we add these great production elements and we have this amazing studio, like a real brick and mortar studio, I have an actual office and I get to wave to my neighbors every morning when I walk into the studio. It's amazing. It's within walking distance of my home here in the Finger Lakes region of New York State. But when that happens, the show necessarily, because I have so many partners, advertising partners, sponsor partners, production partners, guests, you name it. And we have to get a little more regimented with the show, right? Like so that everything operates on all cylinders. And sometimes, however, it's fun just to hang out with you guys and to chat and to dish and to gossip a little bit about what's going on with the news. I love hearing from you. I love engaging with the live chat. And again, when we're on like a tight agenda and I have guests every day, it's hard to spend a ton of time with you guys. So that's why I like to do the Friday freestyle right here in the Shannon Joy Show and just engage with you guys. So we're live on Rumble from the Rumble Studios. We're live on Twitter, Spreely, Roku, Apple TV. Looks like we're live on Facebook. The Died Suddenly platform is amazing on Twitter. We're live there as well. So if you're watching on the Died Suddenly platform, this isn't the way the show usually looks. We're usually a little bit more produced with beautiful lower thirds and graphics and boxes and all the things. But this is really just an opportunity for us to spend an hour together. And I have some news for you guys as well. And I have some topics. I mean, I say no prep, but if you were to see my desk, I have a lot of papers here. And also, I love to give a little bit of love to our sponsors as well. So we are going to talk about kimchi today. I just introduced Kimchi One yesterday with a great guest, Ellie Hirsch. It was amazing. And I want to hear what you guys, I know what kimchi is now, by the way. Everybody was asking me yesterday about, we were talking about kimchi, we're talking about gut health, good bacteria, bad bacteria, all the things. Like the whole mission is to stay out of the medical industrial complex so that we can stay alive, right? Like I want to go to my doctor as little as humanly possible. And so that means you just have to adopt a healthy lifestyle and get everything you need, whether it's the collagen or the hydration. I'm beginning down the journey of gut health, and kimchi is kind of my first stop. So we got a crash course yesterday from Ellie Hirsch, and they have an amazing, unbelievable deal for the audience, which I'll tell you guys about. It's a kimchi, all natural kimchi product. And I'll tell you what kimchi is a little bit later in the program. So we're going to take care of a few of our advertisers today. We're going to talk about some news of the day. Don't you all just love paying more for literally everything? Isn't inflation great? Like everything is more expensive. And I mean, coffee, groceries, clothes, textiles, I mean, everything. I travel with the kids. It's insane. And yesterday, Donald Trump just went on a bender of tariff madness, like nailing the coffin. It is like the dagger to the heart of our already teetering and tottering economy that's already buried under profligate spending, money printing, corruption, and like 17 previous rounds of tariff actions by the president. This time he's going after upholstered furniture and cabinetry. Like, what the F is going on? Like, he can just F right off with all that BS because I'm getting tired of it. It's ridiculous. Like, I couldn't even buy my own house today. Like, that's how much housing inflation has impacted the good citizens of the United States of America. I don't know how my kids are going to buy a house. And we're seeing it everywhere. So we'll talk about a little bit about that. Do you believe the government? They're telling you that this is, the golden economy, best economy ever, and that prices are lower with a straight face. It's insane. So we'll talk about that. We will talk about, I have great videos for you. I know I've been promising this amazing account that I found on the Twit. He's nobody special, but I think he's very special. And his Twitter handle is at JG_nuke. And I actually called him. I reached out to him on Twitter and said, you got to come on my show. I need you as a guest because he puts out such great stuff. He's super funny. He understands the economy and basically the Ponzi schemes, right? Like the back of his hand. And he put out a couple of great videos. One is the NVIDIA scam using Al Bundy and Peg Bundy as an explainer. And it's so great. So I'm going to play that for you today. I downloaded that into my videos. Because see, I kind of do know how to produce myself-ish. I'm getting better. I say, I got to do this every Friday so I don't get rusty. You never know when the rug is going to get pulled out from underneath you and you're going to lose your producers. Then I'm going to have to come here and press buttons again and mess everything up on my own broadcast. But you guys love that. I know you do. When I shumble, that's when Shannon stumbles on Rumble, trying to produce her own show. And yes, we had a lot of fun. 6 months of, it was like 8 months of my own self-production. That was very special. I was very bad at it, but we're very thankful for the amazing team over at Died Suddenly. They are producing the Shannon Joy Show. Ed and TJ doing a phenomenal job. We're going to be adding some elements to that as well. By the way, the truth about vaccines, Ty and Charlene Bollinger, amazing couple. They have been on the front lines on informed consent and vaccine truth for decades. Originally, the truth about cancer. Just an amazing couple. They're working in collaboration with our amazing producers over at Died Suddenly, Matt Scow and Ed Zoll. And they have knocked the ball out of the park again with a blockbuster new documentary. The lies we've been fed, all the lies we've been fed. It is such a good documentary. I watched it. They gave me the pre-release a couple days ago, and they're sponsoring the Shannon Joy Show. And so we're going to roll out some clips from that documentary next week. Maybe we'll have Matt Scow in. Killer first segment, history on Edward Bernays, the father of modern propaganda, which is now weaponized and sophisticated using AI and digitization. It's just so good. And so I will be providing the links to that documentary. We'll be talking about that next week, but I've been posting out about it on Twitter. Just want to give them a mad props. I mean, they are visionaries. You guys know the Kill Shot documentary that I did in collaboration with Died Suddenly. Great documentary, if I do say so myself, but they had a lot to do with it. We traveled down to New Orleans and spoke with, as you recall, the mistress, the lover of Lee Harvey Oswald, and got her account just 3 months before the assassination of JFK. It's like a fascinating, fascinating documentary. So super excited about that. And you're going to be hearing from them next week. In fact, if I can get Charlene Bollinger on, she's an amazing woman. We'll try to do that next week. Speaking of next week, I'm working on Catherine Austin Fitz. She and I are trying to figure out a date that works. She wanted to do Wednesday, but as you know, we host Mary Talley Bowden and On Call with Dr. Mary Talley Bowden every Wednesday, so it didn't work. But we'll try maybe Thursday. We also have David Knight. David Knight is going to be with us next week for a full hour after his show on the Shannon Joy Show. So pumped. I am so happy that he is doing well. He is recovering and seemingly recovered, doing an amazing job. His show, the David Knight Show, airs right before the Shannon Joy Show, 9 till noon every day. And same, it's on Rumble, Twitter, all the platforms, and he does audio as well. So Freestyle Friday with no rules. Yes, CM 1960. I'm just giving you guys all of the things that we're going to do today. By the way, if you want to give us a thumbs up, like the Shannon Joy Show right now, leave a comment in the comment section, or join the amazing live chat. That is how we increase the reach of the Shannon Joy Show. So all of those comments, a nice lively live chat is always helpful. And before we do get started, I want to tell you guys some sad news, and this just absolutely broke my heart. As you guys know, we've been doing this for 12 years. The Shannon Joy Show, independent, self-syndicated. We built this platform, the Shannon Joy Network, from the ground up with all of you. And as all of you know, we've had some really bumpy rides throughout this journey. The first really major rug pull for the show was when I was on that tiny, teeny, little itty bitty radio station in a double wide trailer in a cornfield. And the owner of that station could not handle the fact that I critiqued Donald Trump. And this was back in 2016. Crazy, right? Rug pulled me the day after Thanksgiving. He just couldn't, he was my producer, but also could not stand that I just was critical of Trump in every single show as right-wing talk radio, and did like a major rug pull. Day after Thanksgiving, I had $120,000 worth of contracts for advertisers, local advertisers lined up for the next year. We had a signed contract, like everything was rocking and rolling. And man, he sent me, a certified letter from an attorney saying, off with your head, you're done. You don't have a platform. Don't come in on Monday. It was awful. So I had a whole audience, all of these advertisers, and nowhere to put my show. It was awful. It was awful. Like Christmas I think I cried every day for 30 days. We ended up winning. We moved the show in 30 days. It was a miracle. We were able to move the show from that teeny tiny little 5,000 watt station to a 50,000 watt blowtorch News Radio Wham 1180, who became my partners. It was an iHeart station, and they were just amazing. But that whole story, in that time, those 30 days, the audience of the Shannon Joy Show just blessed me in such unbelievable ways. We did not have any revenue, zero. My revenue went from what it was to absolutely zero at Christmas. Because I couldn't run any ads. I couldn't fulfill any of my advertisers. And so the audience literally floated me. I think you guys raised like $6,000 to cover expenses and kind of float the show for that 30 days when we were negotiating the deals. We had to renegotiate all of my deals with all of my advertisers, negotiate a deal with iHeart. It was such a chaotic time. It was a miracle. That everything, it just so happened that Michael Savage went, you guys know Michael Savage, right? He went from a 3-hour show to a 2-hour show, which opened up this magical hour right after Mark Levin and right before Michael Savage that they were able to put my show, which was just amazing. And one family you guys were amazing. And this is the bond that I have with this audience. And you guys have been with me through successes and failures, growth, rug pulls, losing producers, losing platforms, being banned on social media like Twitter and Facebook, being arrested during the dark days of COVID when we were fighting to get the masks off the kids. Like, you guys have just been the bond I have with this audience is just, it is so strong. And I so appreciate you. I'm honored that so many of you have stuck with me for so long. And one couple in particular, Eddie and Molly Harker, were unbelievable to me in that time, and came forward with a particularly critical and incredibly generous contribution in that dark month. And they were just such a blessing to me, a beautiful couple, so supportive, out of Florida. They've stuck with me ever since, and they've touched base here and there, and I've kept an eye on them, and they have kept an eye on me. And just about a month ago, Molly reached out to me with some sad news. She was diagnosed with a very aggressive, very late stage cancer. And she was trying to treat it with ivermectin, and we had gone back and forth, and I put her in contact with a bunch of people that I knew. She was pretty optimistic. And so we kept in touch and we talked, and, I kind of was with her with that journey, but things kind of took a turn for the South about a week and a half ago, and she went into hospice. And just a couple days ago, Molly passed away. And her husband, Eddie, sent me a message, and it just broke my heart. I mean, she was a believer. She loved Christ, and I know that she's in a better place. Just a beautiful, amazing, kind, generous soul. And she was a Spitfire. She was feisty. She fought for liberty. She loved liberty. And she supported not just my show, but so many of the other shows that you guys love, and so many others who platformed. And I know about that. And I just wanted to offer up just my most sincere condolences to Eddie. He sent me a message. He said, Molly's recent journey is now complete. Her work here is done. She was taken home yesterday in the arms of our Lord and Savior at 5:37 p.m. She passed with grace and dignity and kindness and humor, as she always has and always will. Sorry. I didn't think I was going to cry with this. As you know, she was an amazing woman, and there's so many of us both here in Florida, and it seems like everywhere, who will greatly miss her. And so will we. I am so sorry, guys. These turbo cancers, I don't know whether or not she was vaccinated, but I just see so many people. My beautiful niece just had a friend whose mother passed away recently as well. And, it's just so wrong. It is so wrong. And we aren't getting answers from our government. It's not Tylenol. I'm so sick of people lying about these things. Such beautiful souls. And it's just so unjust, and it's so wrong. But that being said, she was an amazing woman. And I know that the family is rejoicing because she is with her Savior. She is in a better place. We know the end of this story. And so, Eddie, we love you. We are praying for you. I am praying for you. Your wife was an angel. And I would just ask all of you to just lift them up in your prayers as well. So yes, Busk, thank you so much. Listen, I get mad. I hate when presenters or radio people cry on air, because I feel like it's manipulative, and I don't ever, 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 ever like to do that. So yeah. Yes, real men do cry. Corona Zone 777. I cried too. Yes, I know. Well, listen, we have souls. We can't be like, this world can make us hard. It can make us cynical. And we should be, quite frankly, because right now things are pretty crazy. And we should be cynical of everything. We should be distrustful of everything. I don't trust anyone, any of our institutions these days. I trust you. I trust my neighbors. I trust people like Molly and Eddie. I trust the people that I can work with and talk to and have conversations with, right? But these institutions, governmental institutions, corporate institutions, non-governmental organizations, public-private partnerships, like all of the things, they're just, I don't know, not trustworthy. And we should be cynical. But we have to remember, here's the thing about, something that is throughout the Gospels. If you're a believer, if you're not a Christian, okay, just bear with me for 1 second. I'll be done with this. But throughout the Bible, there is this call, like that, God wants us to be innocent. He wants us to be childlike. And I think we have to remember that. I try to remember that, being, trying to be as innocent as possible and childlike, even in the face of absolute darkness and cynicism and corruption and just wicked people who lie all the time. We're called to do whatever we can do with our talents. God gives us talents. He gives us a moment on this world to do something, right? And we don't have to save the world. You don't have to save the world. You don't have to worry about all of the horrifying things that may come or may not come. You don't have to worry about wars and rumors of wars and what the next scamdemic will be or when the next shoe will drop, right? All you have to do is trust in God, believe in him, be obedient, and do the best you can with the talents that he gave you, right? From your own corner of the world, according to your own unique talents and abilities. And cherish friendships in your community and live, be in the sun, put your bare feet in the ground, get a good night's sleep, fall in love, have children and grandchildren. Those are the things, plant gardens. Those are the things that we are called to do. And yes, PG Glenny, be wise as serpents and gentle as doves. We need to know the enemy. We need to know what they're capable of. And I think a lot of us can sometimes be a little naive. So there's a balance there, right? And that's the trick, I think, always trying to make that balance. Bill Benz is with us on the live chat. So Molly, you are an angel. I know that you are in heaven with your creator. And I just can't wait to meet you. And I will in person. Okay. And Eddie, we're praying for you as well. Okay. Yes. Edgar 615. Alex Jones cries all the time and I blocked him. Exactly. Glenn Beck used to irritate me with all the tears, all the crocodile tears. So no, it is not something that I try to normally do here on the Shannon Joy Show. All right. Let's see if you guys have any. Okay. I have another announcement to make. In Mav 2022, I see you. Karen Carpenter 27, I see you as well. PG Glenny, great to see you on the live chat. Buskman, yes, I am going to call you after the show today, Buskman. We will have our conversation. Absolutely. Mama C 1996, be cynical, but don't ever lose hope. I agree with you 100%. Mav 22. I love that scripture. Don't worry about the wicked or envy those who do wrong. For like grass, they soon fade away. Like spring flowers, they soon wither. And then they burn in hell. That's Psalms 37. Thank you, Mav 2022. Yeah. Yes, everyone will face their judgment. LT Oracle of Truth. I see you too. Okay. So yeah, announcement. I'm super excited about this. And if you guys have any questions, CJP Rumble, did you fill us in on your Utah meeting? Yes. Yes, I was in Utah last week and you will notice yesterday, this was amazing. I was on Redacted with Clayton Morris and Natalie Morris. It's a husband and wife duo. They have a huge platform. And I joined them on their show to talk about the release of the Epstein files and Tom Massey's discharge competition. And so I have admired their work for quite some time. And that was what that meeting in in Utah was about, CJP Rumble. I was working with, I did a collaboration for the first time with a production company and a network called Unified TV. It's UNIFYD.TV. And yes, Redacted crushed it yesterday. Oh, thank you, because Shannon was on. Appreciate you, CJP Rumble. So I did a series. I did 3 panels with the team over at Unified TV, and those shows should drop in the next couple weeks. But this is an amazing production company. They do unbelievable work. And so they flew me out to Utah. We did the collaboration, and I believe they work with Clayton and Natalie. I believe they produce some things for Kim Iverson and some things for Redacted. And so they called me up to see if I wanted to come on and do the panel there with Clayton and Natalie, which I loved. And so I love that collaboration. I hope to do some more work with them. It was great. And so that was, I'll let you guys know when those shows came out. Had a blast, really great information on food production, the nation's farmings. We talked about sex trafficking, child sex trafficking in the rings. We hit a lot of topics, and it was great. Yeah, Kim Iverson has been fantastic lately. In fact, I was hoping to meet her out there, but we weren't able to make that happen. But yeah, as you guys know, there aren't a ton of people right now. So many from the medical freedom community are so deep into the Trump mass formation that I need new sources. And so, as Doc Malik has been great. Derek Bros has been amazing. Catherine Austin Fitz, David Martin, David Knight, Strident Conservative, who's David Leach, Kim Iverson, Clayton, and Natalie Morris have been great. Who else have we had on here? Ryan Christian, Last American Vagabond, Patrick Wood from Technocracy. We've had Courtney Turner. These are all names and platforms, the ones I just listed off for you, they're nonpartisan. So the critique that they had for the Biden administration is pretty much identical to the critique they now have for the Trump administration, which is apropos, because Trump is doing the exact same things that Biden did, only worse. Okay? So Biden inflation, now we have Trump inflation. And he's, levying tariffs on everything. Everything. Last night, in the last 60 minutes, the Kobayashi letter is also good. If you want to follow them on the twit, at Kobayashi letter. Last night, in literally 60 minutes, Trump announced a 100% tariff on pharmaceuticals, a 50% tariff on kitchen cabinets, a 50% tariff on bathroom vanities and associated products. I was going to redo my kid's bathroom this year. I don't know if we're going to be able to now. Thanks a lot, Trump. Announces a 30% tariff on upholstered furniture, 25% tariff on heavy trucks, and said he would cut interest rates down to 2%. You don't cut interest rates in a golden era boom. You don't do it. So they're lying to you. And tariffs are taxes. Don't discount me. I'm right about this. All right. I've been right since day one. Tariffs are taxes, tarifaxes. Countries don't pay them. You do. The consumer does. All right. So that's how it works. Oh my gosh. So yay, everything gets to get more expensive. So exciting. So exciting. MAGA, baby. Don't forget to thank your Lord and Savior, Donald Trump, right? So anyway, this is why we need new independent sources. And yes, I am pumped to align with people like Clayton and Natalie Morris. They do great work over at Redacted, and also Kim Iverson. So here's my news, though. Okay, so in addition to the unified news, we are expanding our collaboration with Rumble. Rumble has been amazing. They have, when I was self-producing, the amount of time that that Vivian spent with me, teaching me how to press the buttons and self-produce my show. They've come alongside this show, helping with advertising partnerships, and they've just been really great. And I'm going to be joining them. They have a Rumble's Preferred Creators program, and so I'm going to join them starting in October with as part of the Rumble Creators program. And there are a lot of elements involved with it, but one of the things that is really exciting is the ability to do an additional 5 hours of content behind the Rumble Premium firewall. So if you enjoy Rumble and you want to have a commercial-free experience and get the benefit of all of the Rumble Creators programming without commercials, and also their added bonus content that is behind the paywall, then you can sign up for Rumble Premium. So I'm going to be telling you all about that, what Rumble Premium is. But for my minimum 5 hours, but it might be more than that, what we're going to do behind the paywall starting in October is basically an open forum, town hall kind of family meeting, right? Where you guys come in and we're going to be doing call-ins. So you guys will be able to come into the forum. And originally when we were talking about how to structure this, I was thinking, okay, we'll do like a Q&A. So I'll host, this kind of family meeting forum for the P1 listeners and viewers, the Shannon Joy Show. You guys can come in and you can ask me any questions. You can, make, comments, or, it's just kind of a more intimate kind of engagement than the show in and of itself. But then I thought, what would be more fun for me to hear from all of you. And it reminded me of, when I have my summits for truth and wellness and we pack, 1,000 people in a room, and we always have open mic and Q&A sessions. So I put a huge panel up front, people like Peter McCullough and Dr. Naomi Wolf and Mary Kelly Bowden. And we've hosted like just blockbuster. We have, Pierre Corey and Dr. Ryan. Why am I forgetting his last name? Whatever, but you guys know the summits. Anyway, so we always open up the mic so people can ask questions. Well, invariably, people get that mic in their hand and they don't want to ask a question. They want to get something off their chest. Like they have something to say. And so that's why we would have to get them to write out their questions, or I'd have to hold the mic, because once people get it, but people have ideas. You guys have ideas, you have opinions. I've always said with this show that I learn as much from my audience as my audience learns from me. And you guys have helped me. You have directed me to amazing sources, amazing guests, amazing platforms. You've helped me to think about things in a different way. And so I thought what would be more fun would be to have basically an open mic town hall where I listen to you, right? So I'm moderating it. So I'm there, but I'm listening to you guys. You guys can tell me what you like, what you don't like, if you want me to cover this story or that story, if you have an idea for collaboration. I envision it as being a moment, twice a month or so, depending on how we do it, where we can kind of further understanding. We can hopefully bring in people from the left and the right, people who believe in liberty and love the Constitution and are out of the two-party political paradigm, like-minded people for some really great discourse and discussion, some community, and also collaboration, like ideas about how to take our country back, how to organize from the bottom up. I know Garth Hilton talks a lot about Tactical Civics, which is his organization. They have 8,000 members across the country and chapters in almost every single state, right? He's doing a ton of work. Like, I want to hear about what Garth is doing. I want to hear about what Buskman is doing. I want to hear about what you guys are doing. And yeah, Ryan Cole, that was his name. So, that is blue. We could have a blue roof discussion. Exactly. Like, nothing is off the table. And again, because it's behind a paywall, because it's a little more private, and I think that people can be a little bit freer with their discussion. So the fun part about this is that we are going to be doing that via phone in, right? So it doesn't even have to be through a chat. We're going to be able to hear each other and talk to each other, which I just think is the coolest thing ever. So that will be happening. I haven't named it yet. We could name it, I don't know what we can name it. See if you guys can come up with some fun names. But it's basically like you guys are talking to me. I'm sitting back and listening. And I'll like, if you want to ask me questions, I can answer questions and I'll moderate. But I do really want to hear from you guys. So that's going to happen next month on Rumble, which I'm super excited about. So why don't we do this? Let's go to if you guys have questions, are aliens just interdimensional fallen angels discussion? Okay, go. Yeah, we can talk about aliens. If you guys want to if you want to go down, everything always ends with the aliens, doesn't it? MAV 2022. I'm free with my discussions without having to pay. All right, guys, pay up. Now, I think it's going to be super fun. So, and really it's an added bonus. So I think the benefit with Rumble Premium is that you guys were just complaining about commercials yesterday on my show. All right. Like, oh my gosh, you have one too many commercials. Well, okay. If you don't want commercials, you can throw a little money Rumble's way and become a Rumble Premium member. And then you can watch all of the premium content, including my open forum, open mic, talking back to Shannon Joy. Maybe we can call it that. I'd rather pay you directly, Shannon, than Rumble. I get it. But I really appreciate Rumble. Honestly, I would have been up the creek without a paddle if it weren't for Rumble. Because prior to launching my show video, because as you guys know, I was only radio. I was like terrestrial AM broadcast radio for like 10 years before I started video. I only started video 2 years ago, a little over 2 years ago. And I could not have platform to video if it weren't for Rumble. And I actually wouldn't have survived because basically what happened, all of my revenue for the Shannon Joy Show was local advertisers. So when COVID happened, they were all retailers like car dealerships and restaurants and retail operations. And like those were my advertisers and they were all local. Well, they all got shut down. So I basically we lost like 60% of our revenue the entirety of 2020, 21, and it never really came back. It didn't help that I was literally public enemy number one in my county, going up against the health commissioner and every school district, like on a street corner protesting lockdowns. Like no one liked me at that time. And so it was really hard to bring local advertisers back. And then I got arrested. So I was like the Jezebel of my local community, like that girl. I became notorious, which is very difficult for getting local advertisers. Like a lot of them liked me. They're like, oh, Shannon, keep doing what you're doing, like secretly, quietly. But none of them wanted to advertise with me. So right before, so I had to go national. Like I never really wanted to go national. And the show was always national in scope. It was just the revenue was derived from the local community. And it was really never my intention to go and platform to a point where I could draw in national advertisers. But I had to do it because every other door closed. So that's another story I'll tell one day. That was a miracle as well, how that happened. But my point being, I could not have done that without Rumble. So I really appreciate them. And listen, people may like or dislike certain people who are platformed on Rumble or not platformed on Rumble. Everybody has an opinion about everything, whether it's Twitter, Facebook, Fox News, Daily Wire, The Blaze, Rumble, whatever, this network. I get it, right? But Rumble's been very good to this show. And I'm going to appreciate that for as long as it works out. So I'm really pumped to join the Rumble Creators Program, Future As. Rumble has been good so far. And yeah, I think that there are going to be a lot of great benefits for that. Future As, some people use super chats instead of using advertisers. I just have never been the kind of gal. I don't love always asking you guys for money. I mean, you can donate to my show. You can become a regular Shannon Joy Show supporter by going to my website, theshannonjoy.com. That's direct. You can pay by a PayPal or credit card. I think we have a credit card portion set up. And I have a lot of people who Shannon, Dan Bongino is my hero. Guys, did you hear it too? Stop right now. It was after my massive feud with Dan Bongino that Rumble started being very nice. I don't know. I can't tell you, how it works out. Notorious SG. That's so funny. Or Notorious SJ. No, yeah. There's no love lost between myself and Dan Bongino. He's the guy. Yeah, that's super fun. I think, didn't he step down from the FBI? That shtick is over. Danny boy, he's done, right? I mean, in the circus of headlines that pummel us every day, I think I saw a headline that Dan Bongino stepped down from the FBI. So I guess he's going to go back to being a commentator, right? But yeah, that was so fun when, the deputy director of the FBI is the same guy who called you a piece of trash and full of, what, the S word on Twitter. That was fun. I mean, he went after me hard. I don't even remember why he lost his mind. I was just trying to have dinner with my kids and my Twitter just blew up. Oh yeah, I think it was about, all the world's a stage, Claude. For sure. Oh yeah, it was that he wasn't disclosing his financial relationship with Truth Social. So he's out there Dan was trying to be like a fair and balanced news reporter on talk radio and on his platforms. And meanwhile, he's like in it for like, I guess, hundreds of millions or like a huge share of Truth Social. So he's literally in bed with the Trumps, which we all knew. But it's like, these guys come out and they try to say, oh, I'm independent and nonpartisan, not nonpartisan, but at that point he was like he was like trying to push Trump into the nomination for the presidency. And yeah, I pointed out his financial interests. Yeah. Oh, interesting. Bongino is out of Rumble recently. Interesting. Well, maybe that's why I like it here so much. All right, let's go to, I mentioned to you guys, where are we at? 41 minutes? All right, we're about 41 minutes into the show. Kimchi, by the way, is doing, speaking of advertisers, see, you guys were complaining about the advertiser. I'm going to give you an advertiser. An amazing sponsor, by the way. I am taking this product. It is Kimchi One. And we had Ellie Hirsch on the show yesterday. This is all about gut health and your gut biome and making sure that you maintain the 85% good to 15% bad. And kimchi is, okay, so it is, I looked it up because everyone was asking, we were talking about kimchi the whole time and people were asking like, what is it? So it is a fermented dish. And I think it is from, oh my gosh, why am I forgetting? Where is it from? What country is it? Help me out, guys. Anyway, it's a fermented like food product. It's like cabbage. It's a fermented dish of cabbage, radish, garlic, ginger, chili pepper flakes, and fish sauce. Does not sound delectable, right? So it's like heavy fermentation. Oh, Korea. Thank you. Okay. It's a fermented dish from Korea, and they eat it like 3 times a day. Like they eat it. It's one of like their staple foods. And as you guys know, I have mentioned before, I have the palate of a 10-year-old. Hot dogs and macaroni and cheese would make me happy for the rest of my life. SpaghettiOs. I know people can't believe it, but that's, yeah. So I have to, in order to get the nutrients that I need these natural sources. So the kimchi is basically, I mean, you can tell, I mean, it is fermented. You can actually smell like it's like a capsule, and you can like smell the cabbage. Like it definitely is all in there, but like they dry it and they distill it down and they put it in a capsule. And it's basically all of the nutrients that you would get if you were to eat kimchi without the fish sauce and the fermented cabbage and radish, garlic, ginger, and chili pepper flakes, which I don't know how many of you guys like, would you guys eat that? I don't think I could do it. Anyway, it's an amazing product. I've been taking it for a few weeks and I'm seeing a difference. My stomach is flatter than it has ever been. As you know, I'm going through the menopause change, and it's a little shaky. It's been touch and go for a while, but I mean, I've seen some major changes in that area. It also fights cancers, inflammation, chronic disease. It's just so good for you. And so right now they have just an amazing deal. First of all, if you want to go to mybrightcore.com/joy, it's 25% off. But they gave an 800 number that if you use the 800 number, because they like to talk to real people, which I think is the coolest thing ever. The 800 number is 888-912-4317. So I'll say it again so you can get your pen and your paper out. But it's 888-912-4317. You can call them up, ask them questions, have a nice little conversation. And if you use the 800 number, they'll give you 50% off, plus free shipping, plus a free bottle of vitamin D3, like an entire bottle. And they're like 40, 50 bucks. Hot flash umbles alert. Yeah, I know. It's not fair. I'm doing okay. Everyone like says all these horrible things about menopause. Like I mentioned, it's a little touch and go in, the early spring of last year, but I'm settling in. All natural. I'm not doing any HRT. I talked to Naomi Wolf about it. I know I think she had a debate with Dr. Kelly Victory about hormone replacement therapy. I've decided to go the natural route. You guys know, not giving any medical advice. That's just what I've decided to do. And I've done just fine. But I'm adding in, I'm adding in the collagen. I'm adding in the creatine. Collagen has been a game changer. That's Native Path. And then now I'm working on my gut. So that's just what I'm doing. Drink raspberry leaf tea, says MAV 2022. Interesting. LT Oracle of Truth has seen kimchi at Publix. I don't know. Do they sell actual? Yeah, we are all dead. It happens to all of us ladies eventually. Hey, it's not a bad thing. It's natural. It's just what happens, Yeah. Diog 99.8, Korean barbecue with kimchi. We don't have to have discussions about bowel movements on the live chat. That's where I draw the line. That's where we draw the line. After 45 years old, find a probiotic, said Chronozone 777. Well, try the kimchi. It's 50% off. 888-912-4317. That's 888-912-4317 for 50% off, plus free shipping, plus the first 100 callers get a free bottle of vitamin D3. If you're rich and you have tons of money you want to throw around, then just go to the website, mybrightcore.com/joy, and you'll get 25% off. Okay. Costco has kimchi. Don't get your kimchi at Costco. Get it from my advertisers, right? That's how if you guys are the best audience ever. Do you guys want to see those videos that I was telling you about from Nobody Special? His handle is @JGNuke, and his name is Nobody Special. I think he's very special. He did some killer videos on this economy, the Ponzi scheme and the shell game that is Wall Street, the tech bubble, AI bubble, all of the reports coming from Washington, D.C. I mean, for them to tell it, if you're to talk to Donald Trump, we are in the best economy ever. It's golden. None of your prices have risen whatsoever. You didn't just get laid off, right? You're not cutting back and cutting down and cutting expenses. You aren't going to the grocery store and having shell shock every time, you pick up a box of cereal, or the gas station and have shell shock every time you look at the rising gas prices. Energy prices are slated to go up exponentially as they build more databases. I mean, it's everything. The basket of goods, the inflation basket that they always manipulate to try to trick you into thinking that inflation isn't happening. It's like they put one thing in the basket. Like they pick one industry that they protect for whatever reason, the prices go down, and they put that one industry into the basket, and that's their basket of goods that they use to determine whether or not prices are rising, right? They take energy out of the basket. They take, higher education out of the basket. They take your mortgage, home prices, like the things that people spend the most money on, they take right out of the basket. And then God bless them for saying it to us with a straight face. I mean, they really commit to it. Okay, but everybody knows that this economy is a dumpster fire. It's a dumpster fire on a train with a drunken conductor barreling down the tracks at 100 miles an hour off a cliff. Okay, that's our economy. And if you doubt me, just look. Ed Dowd, Catherine Austin Fitts, Peter Schiff, Kobayashi Letter, Dalio. I mean, some of the best, the most clear-headed analysts out there know that this economy is a shit show. It's a complete shit show. By the way, you don't bring interest rates down to 2% in a golden era economy. Okay? Like, oh my gosh. Oh yeah, they take everything out of the basket. Okay? So now we have another round. Donald Trump went on a wild tear yesterday and just said tariffs for everyone. He's like Oprah giving away the keys to a new Ford sedan. Like, and you get a new Ford, and you get a new car, and you get a new car. Like, that's Trump. Yeah, you like every industry now, I suppose, is now going to get hit with his tariffs. And this is his Truth Social post. We will be imposing 50% tariff on all kitchen cabinets, bathroom vanities, and associated products starting October 1st. Additionally, we'll be charging a 30% tariff on upholstered furniture. They charge it to the country charges you. Okay? It's the same discussion we've had about corporate taxes with leftists, right? When Joe Biden or Bernie Sanders gets up and says, we need to charge the corporation more taxes. The corporations are getting, all the rich are getting richer and the poor are getting poorer. And they're like screaming it at us, right? And you're like, dude, if you charge the corporation 30% taxes, they're just going to raise my prices by 30%, reduce wages by 30%, or reduce the amount of goods or services that they provide for the same amount of price. Shrinkflation. Like, the corporations aren't going to be like, oh, shucks, oh, darn it, Bernie Sanders charged me 30% more. I guess I just can't buy that mega yacht that I was going to get this year. Oh, man, that's too bad. Like, that doesn't happen. And that doesn't happen with countries. Like, China's not like, oh, darn it, Trump is charging us taxes. Whatever will we do? We're just going to have to eat that, right? And not pay it. No, they charge us more. They raise our prices. You morons. This is not hard. This is not difficult, right? Or even, you know what's even worse? They set up new supply lines. They say, oh, we're a little sick and tired of the Americans. They devalue their dollar. They cheat. They start wars abroad. They conduct color revolutions in countries and take out sitting leaders, and they manipulate everything. And guess what? We don't want to play with you anymore, United States of America. So we're going to set up new supply lines. We're going to set up supply lines with India, South Africa, Brazil, right? China. This is Russia, right? And it's happening already. In fact, I think China just, pledged to buy, I don't know, a bunch of soybeans from some third world country for the next 5 years. They're not going to buy soybeans from the United States of America anymore. And no one's going to want our stuff because no one's going to want our dollar because we're devaluing our dollar. So Trump is crushing our dollar, crushing small and medium-sized businesses, crushing inflation. Like, it's everything that you could do to beat and batter an already precarious economy. He is throwing like one atom bomb after another. And now he's just like, hey, you want to redo your bathroom? You can't do it. Screw you. Well, screw you, Trump. You suck. Worst president ever. They say he has bad advisors. Exactly. I can't believe we're having these conversations. Conservatives, fiscal conservatives used to understand this stuff pretty easily, right? It is Trump. They have to twist themselves and their brains into pretzels in order to find some convoluted way to explain why he does the crazy shit that he does. And that's like the most frustrating thing about all of this. Oh my gosh, Shannon, but the stock market is doing better than ever. Stock market is doing better than ever. All right, really? Stock market, every amount of every gain that has been made in the past 4 years has been in the tech and AI sector. It is 7 companies who, by the way, are simply passing money around to each other and cheating. It is a scam. Bitcoin is a Ponzi scheme. It's a scam. And so is all the tech stuff. All the robots, you think that they're going to take over the world, right? Not happening. Not happening. It's seven stocks. Rothan Walker, every so often, a well-placed cuss word is necessary. I don't usually use bad language, but I feel like for impact, sometimes it's just necessary. And I was cursing like a trucker during COVID. You know, you guys shake people up a little bit. Yes, God, guns, and gold, y'all. Stock market, okay, has always been a little bit manipulated, but not anywhere near how it is being manipulated today. This is my lead up. We're at minute 55. Okay, we're gonna go for about an hour. This is my lead up. This is this guy that I like, JG_nuke, nobody special. And he did 2 videos. I'm playing for you. The first was this, basically the tech bubble in 1.5 minutes where he explains it. And then he did a 7-minute explainer on the NVIDIA scam. And like, just take NVIDIA and apply that to every other tech company and to understand the tech bubble, like what we are sitting on right now. Like, it's a disaster. All right. So this guy gets it. It's such a great video. And I know I've been like teasing you guys with this video since Tuesday of this week. So we're finally going to get to it. Yeah, we are totally getting gypped, CJP Rumble. Should we go to Washington, D.C. and protest Trump? Says Slim Jones. How did that work out last time? And we were just protesting an election. I don't like Washington, D.C. I wouldn't go to Washington, D.C. I would stick, for me, I like the local things. And that's what I'm pretty much going to stick to, local organization. But I do also hate the fact, though, that they are like frightening us away from organizing and protesting. We should be protesting more. Marky Mark NJ, thanks for the $1. Marky Mark sent me $1 today. Love that. Calling the present state of our nation a shit show is 100% accurate. Nothing else comes close to succinctly describing the situation. Thank you, Marky Mark NJ. I thought my dumpster fire on a train going off a cliff analogy was apropos. The drunken conductor, by the way, is Donald Trump. Worse than Biden. And I told you he would be worse than Biden. Unbelievable. Smart people just, You know the people that are most interesting to me? We're going to get to the video. People that are most interesting to me right now at this moment in time are the people who got it on COVID, who like saw it immediately. They're in team reality. They saw that the lockdowns were a fraud and a scam. They knew that the pandemic was really a scamdemic. They knew that Operation Warp Speed was going to produce a dangerous, hazardous shot, because you can't safely bring anything to market in 3 to 7 months or 9 months, I think it was. And like, these are people who saw through the whole thing, who stood, not only did they see through the whole thing, they stood up, they spoke up, they protested, they lost jobs, they lost fortunes, they lost their reputations, right? Like, they fought COVID, lockdowns, and the rollout of the jabs with everything they had, right? Those people who are now, who really believe, who reelected the guy who locked them down in the first place and actually believe, who have fallen into the Trump mass formation. Like, these are people who get it. These are people who are smart, right? But they have fallen right back into mass formation with a second round of Trump, who is doing the exact same things that Biden did for all intents and purposes, except for the threats of a mandate for shots, right? But that's basically it. Everything else that's destroying the economy, he's doing. But also the guy who locked us down. Like, they just forgot that whole thing. And that indicates to me, I'm like, how is this? How could this happen? And I'll tell you how I think it happened. It indicates to me that as pervasive, ubiquitous, and sophisticated the lockdowns, the messaging and the propaganda, the fear propaganda and fear-based messaging was, that put everyone into their homes, fearful, afraid for their lives, covering their faces with filthy rags, like screaming at their neighbors, arresting their neighbors. Like, as sophisticated as that operation was, that psyop, to move the country into this crazy moment that was 2020 and 2021, right? Into mass formation. I think that the psyop to move Trump into the place that he is today, the psyop around Donald Trump himself, is even more sophisticated and more powerful than even the COVID psyop, right? Because somehow this character convinced these people, after he locked them down and gave them the poison shot, to elect him again, and then trust the plan that he's somehow going to fix all of this, right? That is some serious, serious mass formation. And it blows my mind how powerful it is. How powerful it is. So let's take a look. I'm just off on a tangent there. Let's take a look at this video just to understand how bad this situation is with NVIDIA, but not just or NVIDIA, however you want to pronounce it, but these tech stocks in general. This bubble is a massive, massive bubble. This bubble makes the 2008 bubble and the .com bubble look like baby bubbles, like little baby infant bubbles. Like, this thing is big. And this guy puts it into a great perspective. So we're going to watch his first, I think let's do Nobody Special. And let's do the AI bubble in a minute and a half, 90 seconds or so. And then we'll do the Al Bundy Nobody Special NVIDIA scam. Okay. So we'll do that now. Buckle up. This is a good one. Here we go.
At its peak, AI mania added $18 trillion to the stock market. Now, AI startups have made some pretty wild claims. And to be sure, AI has shown potential for enhancing white-collar productivity, saving companies money while killing white-collar jobs, but these AI companies have some huge problems. They're literally stealing the life's work of artists and journalists, and OpenAI's creepy CEO has this weird thing with Scarlett Johansson, so they're all getting sued, and they're losing. Now that they have to pay, it's got them turning to sketchy places to save money on training data, which they feed their AI, hoping to make it smarter, but it's making it dumber with some hilarious results. Hallucination-prone chatbots have told people to put glue on pizza. It makes things up, getting lazy lawyers in trouble, and when the AIs play each other in chess, they make illegal moves and even randomly create new pieces out of thin air. Meanwhile, hardware companies like NVIDIA have seen their stocks explode. They're also under investigation for illegal sales to China, but that's a whole other story. NVIDIA's customers have bought tens of billions worth of AI chips. But where is all that money coming from? The whole AI bubble has been inflated by an old accounting gimmick called round tripping. They called it vendor financing in the .com bubble. Now they call it strategic investment. Big tech is giving money to their customers just so their customers can hand the money right back to them, and then they report it as revenue. On paper, it looks like a booming business, but it's fake. NVIDIA invested in 49 of their own customers last year. Microsoft did it with OpenAI, Google and Amazon did it with Anthropic, and sleazy Wall Street firms are doing it too. Now investors are wising up and demanding big tech start showing AI profits, which none of them have because not a single AI startup is profitable. Microsoft and Amazon have already started cutting their data center plans, indicating this game is almost over, and when it is...
Doesn't that make you feel better? Like, when you think of the fact, like, we do talk about the technocracy. It is very dangerous. They can hurt a lot of people with the AI and all the things. But like, the idea now that they're backing off of some of their plans for the Manhattan-sized data processing centers, which are going to send our energy prices sky high and suck up all of the water, the fresh water in regions across America. Like, I think he's onto something here, right? Like the technology, what I thought was most interesting about that literally is a 90-second. I mean, how well did he explain that in 90 seconds? But the idea that they're getting in trouble now. So AI, and I said this to you guys, I want to say 3 or 4 months ago. I said AI is only as intelligent as the humans that it can suck data out of. And that's why they want these massive data processing centers and they want all of the surveillance. Because the AI, if they can force you to have a digital ID or a chip in your brain or a digital currency that is all trackable and traceable and they can like follow you everywhere, that's a million, bazillion, gazillion more data points that they can process and then use to feed into AI, right? So that's why they want to do this. It's why they want the surveillance state. Because what's happening right now, they're running into problems with artists and professionals, people who actually think, people who create things. AI is trying to gobble that up, but they're getting in trouble. The courts are smashing it down. So this is like we're balancing on a pin right now. You know, they're going to try to dump us into the digital ID. By the way, in Great Britain, I mean, they are moving forward fast, trying to shove people into the digital ID. But people are refusing it. They're rejecting it. This is going to be just like the shots. I'm telling you right now. It's going to be get the digital ID or you can't work. That's what they're saying in the UK. That in order to work, I mean, you can't go to job. You can't have a job. You can't go to work unless you have digital ID. And people in Great Britain are saying, oh, hell no. Just like we wouldn't get a vaccine to have our job or to go to work, we're not going to get a digital ID. It's going to roll out in the exact same way. And as I told you, just like Donald Trump was the pimp daddy of the vaccine and the shots, he's going to be the pimp daddy of the digital ID. And there's going to come a moment where they're going to do something that is designed to frighten you so profoundly that you'll say, oh yes, please give me the digital ID. And they will say, they'll make it a choice. They're going to try to make everyone do it. It won't be voluntary. It's coming because they have nowhere else to go. The economy is collapsing. The market is a bubble. The AI is a bubble. The tech is a bubble. They've collapsed our dollar. They have nowhere else to go other than World War III, another PSYOP, some horrifyingly traumatizing event that they'll deploy on us here in the United States of America at this point. You know, all those color revolutions that they did in other countries, they've turned it on we the people. That's what it feels like, okay? Because they have nowhere else to go. And so it's terrifying yet exciting at the same time, I suppose, because maybe at some point we will get to the end of this circus where everything is so fake. So
at its peak, AI Mania added 18.
My bad.
At its peak, AI Mania.
Shumble right there. Sorry about that. I'm getting excited. So that was nobody special. This next video is even better. Okay. So he's talking about AI, the AI bubble, and I think he is spot on. I think it's very exciting. So get activated in local, get into your communities, get ready to smash these data centers. If they try to come anywhere near your community, your local town or village, your zoning board, get ready to get out there and smash them down, get them out of your backyard. You do not want these data centers. It's only to control you. And I see you, Marky Mark NJ, as David Knight often says, we're in the middle of a fourth turning. Yeah. And the fourth turning always entails societal and cultural upheaval. The question is, after the upheaval is coming. We cannot avoid it. The question is, after the upheaval, will we have liberty or will we be slaves? That's our choice. And for those of you who don't want this to happen, sorry, it's happening. We're halfway through this. COVID was the beginning. I think we're in the middle of a 10-year thing. COVID was the beginning. And now the next phase is going to ramp up. That is the digital ID and digital money. That's what the tyrants want. They want us enslaved via the technocracy. So we as humans have to say no, right? That's it. That's what we need to do. So this guy explained, I think he nails it, the AI tech digital bubble, and it's a bubble, a big, big bubble. But then he goes on to explain how they're doing it and what exactly NVIDIA is doing. And it's a brilliant explainer, 7 minutes long, and it features, one of our faves, the Bundys. So Al and Peg Bundy, it's absolutely brilliant. I'm going to play that for you now, and then I'll get your comments and your questions on the back end. So take a look. Again, nobody special. JG_Nuke. He does a ton of these videos, and he's going to be on the Shannon Joy Show maybe next week. So I have a cell phone number, and we're going back and forth. We've been playing a little bit of phone tag, but he's brilliant. And I love finding these amazing, amazing, talented people. Here he is explaining the NVIDIA scandal. Here we go.
Breaking news, NVIDIA has announced that they are investing $100 billion in OpenAI in order to deploy 10 gigawatts worth of new data centers using their chips, in what is just the latest chapter of the accounting gimmick and round-tripping scheme that I've come to call AI mania. Now keep in mind, it's only been a few days since we broke this story about NVIDIA renting their own chips from CoreWeave. Well, now NVIDIA will be essentially buying their own chips using OpenAI as a middleman in a scheme that was first made famous in 1989 by the legendary economist and Pokai football legend, Al Bundy. What's up, guys? I'm Nobody Special, and today on NVIDIA's website, we got this press release designed to sell stock to imbeciles. OpenAI and NVIDIA announced strategic partnership to deploy 10 gigawatts of NVIDIA systems. OpenAI and NVIDIA today announced a letter of intent for a landmark strategic partnership to deploy at least 10 gigawatts of NVIDIA systems for OpenAI's next-generation AI infrastructure to train and run its next generation of models on the path to deploying superintelligence. To support this deployment, including data center and power capacity, NVIDIA intends to invest up to $100 billion in OpenAI as the new NVIDIA systems are deployed. The first phase is targeted to come online in the second half of 2026 using the NVIDIA Vera Rubin platform. So let's get a few things out of the way first. This is not a contract. This is not guaranteed revenue. This is a non-binding letter of intent. It's a bunch of words on paper signed by two guys who can both walk away at any time. I could just as easily issue a letter of intent to buy $100 billion worth of Jell-O pudding pops over the next 10 years. That doesn't mean Jell-O is going to sell those pudding pops. Now let's talk about the power problems. Keep in mind, OpenAI could spend all $100 billion that NVIDIA is giving them just on new nuclear reactors to power this data center and still get nowhere near 10 gigawatts. 10 gigawatts is almost 1% of the entire capacity of the United States power grid. And considering the last nuclear reactors that were built in this country cost more than $15 billion apiece, $100 billion is not going to get you 10 gigawatts of power, let alone 10 gigawatts of data center and labor and all the other work that goes into it. As my friends at MacroEdge pointed out recently in this chart, the price of electricity keeps going up. This is data centers getting less and less profitable, even as poor Americans see their utility bills skyrocketing. And for the sake of brevity, let's just blow past the whole fact that 95% of AI pilots are failing at US companies, meaning nobody is making any money on AI, only the people selling the hardware to themselves are actually making money. And let's also blow right past the fact that it was just a week ago that we reported that NVIDIA was being forced to backstop their chip sales to companies like CoreWeave in order to guarantee them revenue to get those chips sold. In other words, NVIDIA is also renting their own chips from themselves. At risk of sounding like a broken record, I feel compelled to point out that nobody besides NVIDIA is making any money with AI. OpenAI lost $5 billion last year. They're going to lose even more this year. Anthropic had similar losses. No one is making any money. The only reason this bubble has been able to inflate to such a ridiculous proportion is because NVIDIA and their co-conspirators on Wall Street are creating artificial demand for their product by propping up their customers. NVIDIA is giving their money to OpenAI, so OpenAI can give the money right back to NVIDIA, and then NVIDIA reports it as revenue. Now, I have been pointing out this round-tripping scheme for more than 2 years, even as this bubble has continued to inflate and get worse and worse. Now we're at the point where this stock bubble has reached something to the tune of about $20 trillion in total market cap, mostly concentrated among the Mag 7 companies. In other words, the damage has already been done, and for most people, it's too late. That doesn't mean we need to let this thing get even worse. And even though more and more people are starting to catch on that this entire thing has been faked from the get-go, they're still blowing it up even higher. This whole press release is nothing more than a non-binding letter of intent. It's a story being told to convince imbeciles to buy the stock. Oh, look, it worked. Now, what's going on here is not hard to figure out. It took me a couple of minutes a couple of years ago. What is hard is convincing people that this is what's going on. And since nobody wants to take my word for it, maybe they'll listen to my man Al Bundy from the 1989 episode of Married with Children, a 3-job, no-income family. Now, in this episode, Peggy gets a job as a Bonnie Bright girl. Bonnie Bright, in this case, was a euphemism for Mary Kay, the notorious multi-level marketing scheme where women sell cosmetics, typically to themselves and their friends. And it turned out Peggy was actually making a ton of money as a Bonnie Bright girl, and Al just couldn't figure out how was his wife making more money than him, until he saw Peggy's customer list.
Now get a pen, write this down. Here we go. Peggy Bundy, Peggy Bundy, Peggy Bundy. Here it is. Peggy Bundy.
Look, Al, why don't we just skip over her and get to the people who actually bought the cosmetics?
Alrighty. Peggy Bundy, Peggy Bundy, Peggy Bundy. She's her own customer, Steve. All this time she's been buying all this stuff herself.
Al, your life is pathetic.
You're not really making any money.
Oh, yes, I am. They send me checks.
Yes, but you send them much bigger ones. And that's what we call in the world of business sending your husband rocketing to the poorhouse. Why didn't you sell any makeup, Peg?
Well, like I told the girls, it's not very good.
Well, then why did you keep buying it?
Because that's how I make my money.
Now, you'll notice within about 5 seconds in that clip, the audience was already cracking up laughing because they realized what was going on, that Peggy was just buying the makeup from herself in order to make it look like she was making money so she could get commission checks, but really it was just a cash-burning fiasco. The studio audience for Married with Children in 1989 was able to figure this out in 10 to 15 seconds, yet it has taken the investing public and the law of intelligent markets more than 2 years to figure out what NVIDIA is doing with their own customers. It's no different than what the big redhead did to the guy from Polk High back in 1989. Now, every day, more and more analysts, commentators, influencers, and ordinary people alike are catching on to what NVIDIA and their co-conspirators have done in order to prop up what has become the biggest tech investing bubble in history. It's only a matter of time before it fails, and when it does, remember, nobody saw this coming. Till next time, live small and dream big.
I love that outro. Live small, dream big. That is JG_Nuke on the twit. Make sure you follow him. He is nobody special. But as I mentioned, I think that his commentary is very special. Actually, brilliant. Being able to distill something very complicated down to a level that is simple and understandable is, in my opinion, the essence of brilliance. And I hope that we'll be able to get him on next week. But yes, it was, I agree with him. This bubble is about to burst. It has to. I mean, there's no there. And again, the only way that analysis could be made not to be true is if our government and the global government succeed in absolutely enslaving all of humanity into a digital surveillance nightmare, right? That's their only out. And frankly, I think it's going to be impossible. I think that it is much more difficult than they imagine or we imagine for them to force every one of us onto a digital ID or a single digital currency. So all we have to do, guys, is continue to throw wrenches into their plans. right? Refuse to comply. Don't take the digital ID, don't take the digital dollar, and, get into your physical assets, your gold, your silver, your real estate, land, commodities, all of the things. If you want to go to Colonial Metals Group, they're sponsors of the Shannon Joy Show. If you have not yet backed up your IRA, if you've been investing and saving your entire life and you're sitting on a nest egg, and that nest egg is 100% invested in 7 tech companies who are inflating a massive bubble, now would be the time to have a conversation with someone over at Colonial Metals Group and consider hedging against what so many people see is coming. I know I've been telling you guys, those of you who started with your phone call to Colonial Metals Group 2 years ago, you are very, very glad, because as you know, the prices are just, they're breaking out. Gold and silver are telling the story right now, actually, globally. There's a lot happening with gold and silver. Let me see if I can get Peter Schiff on week after next to talk about that. But, those of you who took this advice are very glad that you did. As you know, I've been working with Colonial Metals Group for a long time. It's the company that I use for my physical gold and silver that goes in the safe, and also my individual IRA account, gold and silver backed IRA. So they're great. Go to colonialmetalsgroup.com/joy. That's colonialmetalsgroup.com/joy. Didn't mean to do a read there for them, but it was apropos. They have some great deals for the Joy audience as well. And they're just nice. They're nice. They're not going to do, how am I going to get you in the car today? They don't do any like doom or scare tactics or doom selling or manipulative techniques. Like, they just literally answer the phone. They ask you questions. You tell them about your situation, and it's very quick, very easy. So colonialmetalsgroup.com/joy. Mark the Regan, Peter Schiff has been right all along, though his timing hasn't been perfect. Yeah, I think that you're right. Markets are markets are markets. Markets never change. Markets are exactly the same as they have been for 4,000 years of human history. Currencies are the same. Governments abuse currencies. Governments manipulate currencies. They have always done it. And when they get to the end of the rope of the Ponzi scheme, we end up in war or some type of crisis or whatever. So again, as I mentioned, the goal here is to escape, for us to be free after the crisis comes. And we're right in the middle of it. So, yep, Peter Schiff is A++. And a regular guest here on the Shannon Joy Show. We'll see if we can get it. He's so busy, but we'll see if we can get him on. I feel like I just had him on. I don't want to like over ask with some of these people. Ed Dowd said that he would come on. I'll see if I can get him. I'll bug him today and see if he'll come on next week. All right, guys. That's it. We did it. 1:22. We're gonna end a little early today. Usually it's an hour and a half, but I've got some business I have to conduct here. So we're going to end the show now. You guys are great. Get Natalie on, says CJP Rumble. Okay. Buskman, friendships are the key. I agree with you. Friendships are everything. You guys don't know what I would have done without Naomi Wolf and Mary Bowden and Sasha Latapova. And that's just a handful of the friends that I've made over the years. But like when things get crazy and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm losing my mind. Are you guys seeing this? That's when you want to pick up a phone, call your friend and be like, because it's everything. It's absolutely everything. Family is yes, that too, Buskman. God first, then family, then friends, community, then business. That's my order. All right, everyone. I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. Really enjoyed spending time with you. And yeah, let's get geared up for our new feature. This is going to be the SJ Town Hall open mic, couple times a month. I want to hear from you, right? So this is your opportunity. We're going to do call-in style with the phones. And this is your opportunity to call in and for us to have discussions and discourse. Less of me, more of you. I want to hear what you think, what you're seeing in your communities, how you're advocating in your communities, how you're getting prepared for what is coming. You guys are brilliant. And as I said at the beginning of the show today, 12 years that we've been doing this together. And I would say I learn from you as much as you learn from me. We learn from each other and we do this together. And I couldn't do it without all of you. So have a wonderful weekend. Have a blessed weekend. Hug your children. Spend time with your family. We never know when our time is going to come, when their time is going to come. And so live every single day to the max because you might not have another one. And that's what I learned today from my friend Molly Harker and Eddie. And so may she be at peace. This show is dedicated to you, Molly, and I'll see you in heaven. All right. You guys are the best. We will see you on Monday right here on the Shannon Joy Show.